Have you ever stared at your phone trying to do just one simple thing and felt this wave of exhaustion just wash over you? Well, you're not alone. In fact, that exact feeling is at the very heart of what we're going to talk about. There's a really clear reason for that frustration, and you know what? There's an even clearer path to feeling in control again. This feeling right here, this cognitive drain, let me tell you what it's not. It is not a sign that you're falling behind or that you're not tech savvy enough. Not at all. It's a feeling shared by pretty much everyone, from teenagers to their grandparents. It's the direct result of a major clash, a disconnect between how our brains are wired to understand the world and how these digital tools have been built. So let's get one thing straight right from the very start. I want you to let that sink in for a second. The confusion, the frustration, all that overwhelm, it's not your fault. It's a feature of the design, not a failure of yours. It's like being handed a map to a city, but all the street names and landmarks have been erased. That's what so many modern apps feel like, right? You're trying to find your way around, but all the clues are hidden. But here's the good news, you're not lost. Once you understand how this crazy map was drawn, you can draw your own, a better one that gets you exactly where you need to go. So here is our game plan. First, we're gonna unpack that frustrating mystery. Then we'll take a quick look at what happened to all the helpful buttons we used to rely on. After that, we'll explore the real conflict this creates between your brain and the app. And then comes the good part. We'll get to a powerful way to take back control, how to actually use it, and finally, a new, much calmer way to think about all this stuff. Okay, so that mystery, well, that feeling you're having, it actually has a name, Mental Model Incongruity. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying there's a mismatch between how your brain expects something to work and how it actually works. Think about it like this. You pick up a hammer. Your whole life, you've known you swing a hammer. But what if this one was designed to work by twisting it like a screwdriver? You'd feel clumsy and frustrated, right? You'd think, what am I doing wrong? When really, the tool is just designed in a confusing way. And that's exactly what's happening with our apps. So how did we even get here? How did our digital tools get so confusing? Well, a huge part of the answer is that the buttons, they just disappeared. See, over the last decade or so, there was this big trend called flat design. Now, the designers meant well, they wanted everything to look clean and minimalist, but in the process of tidying up the screen, they accidentally swept away all the helpful visual clues, the very road signs our brains need to find our way around. And those clues have a name too, visual affordances. It sounds technical, but it's super intuitive. A door handle affords pulling. A flat plate on a door affords pushing. You see it, and your brain just knows what to do. No instruction manual needed. Early websites and apps got this right. Buttons on a screen looked like real buttons you could actually press. They had shadows and looked three-dimensional. They basically screamed, "Click me." And just look at the difference here. On the left, with the old design, things were obvious. Menus were visible, options were clear, buttons looked like buttons. Your brain didn't have to work so hard. But now look at the right. Those helpful clues are gone. Instead, we get abstract icons we have to translate, or invisible zones on the screen we're just supposed to know are tappable. And the biggest one? All these hidden gestures, swiping left, swiping right, pinching, long pressing, things you just have to magically know exist. The path is no longer visible. It's a hidden maze you have to figure out by yourself. So now we know what's been taken away from us, those clear visual signposts. And this leads us right to the heart of the problem. There's a direct conflict, a battle, happening inside our heads every single time we open an app. It's a clash between the map in your brain and the secret map hidden inside the machine. So on one side of this conflict, you've got your mental model. This is your brain's amazing, logical, built-in map of how the world works, based on a lifetime of experience. You see a light switch. Your mental model knows that flipping it turns on a light. No thought required. It's your internal autopilot, and it's incredibly efficient because it expects things to be consistent and clear. But then, on the other side, that mental model is crashing head-on with the app's system model. And that's the hidden truth of how the app was actually programmed. It's the app's secret and often totally illogical instruction manual. It's full of those invisible gestures and mysterious icons we talked about. So when the app's rules don't match your brain's rules, when a button doesn't look or act like a button, your brain has to slam on the brakes, throw out its own efficient map, and start the slow, draining process of just guessing. And all that guessing, that's what leads to that feeling of exhaustion. It creates what's called a high cognitive load, which just means your brain is working way, way harder than it should have to. Then you add in all the distracting visual noise, all the icons and notifications that have nothing to do with your goal. All that stimulation just wears out your brain's ability to focus. And what's the end result? You're forced to be an explorer, constantly poking around and hunting for clues, when all you wanted to be was a user who could just get something done. Okay, so if the problem is a bad map, the solution is pretty simple, isn't it? We need to draw our own. This is where we turn the corner. We're done with the problem. Now we're going to talk about the fix. I'm going to introduce you to a simple but really powerful system for taking back control. It's called the Mental Model Mapping Protocol. But before we get into the details of that, let's just ground ourselves in this powerful idea one more time. The design is the problem, not you. The goal here isn't to turn you into some kind of tech wizard. The goal is to give you a personal system that puts you back in the driver's seat. A way to turn these tools from a source of stress into what they should be, simple servants that work for you. All right, so this protocol, let's call it the MMP, is made up of 3 simple rules. Rule number 1 is the anchor function rule. This is all about focus. You decide on the one single most important thing you need an app to do. Maybe it's just booking a ride or video calling a grandchild. And you commit to mastering only that one task, and you give yourself permission to ignore everything else. Rule number 2, gesture transparency. This is where you become a detective for yourself. You find and then you physically write down the hidden steps for your main task. If you have to swipe left to delete an email, you write it down. You make the invisible visible. And rule number 3, the noise filter mandate. This one is huge. You have to be ruthless about turning off all non-essential notifications. Every buzz, every pop-up that isn't from an actual person, it's the biggest source of brain drain, and it has to go. Okay, so those are the rules. Sounds pretty good, right? But rules are only helpful if we know how to actually apply them. So now, let's get practical. Let's talk about the strategic steps for putting this new map of yours to use in your everyday life.
Here it is, your 3-step action plan. First, you're going to do an action path audit. For that one main function you chose, you're going to literally write out the exact steps, like to call my daughter. Step 1, tap green phone icon. Step 2, tap favorites at the bottom. Step 3, tap her picture. This becomes your personal action path. Second, practice home screen sanitization. This one's a game changer. You move every single app that you don't use every day off your main screen into a single folder. This just slashes the visual noise every time you unlock your phone. And third, the Analogue Bridge strategy. This might be the most powerful step. You get a small physical notebook and you write your action paths in it. Why? Because it connects the confusing digital world to the solid, real world you've already mastered. That notebook becomes your own personal, reliable user manual.
Now, when you start doing these things, something really profound starts to happen. Your whole mindset begins to shift. See, this isn't about a quick fix. This is wisdom for the long game. It's about letting go of that exhausting idea that you have to know everything about every app and instead moving toward a much calmer, healthier relationship with technology. This really sums up the transformation. On the left, you've got the stressed explorer. That's where a lot of us live, always feeling like we have to learn the next new thing, constantly reacting to alerts, and believing the goal is to be tech savvy. It's tiring. But on the right, that's where we want to be, the intentional user. They don't try to learn everything, they just master the specific action paths they actually need. They don't react, they control the flow of information. They know the secret. The goal isn't to be tech savvy, it's to be function focused. Just let that one sink in for a minute. You don't need to be tech savvy. You only need to be function focused. It's so liberating, isn't it? All that pressure you feel to keep up with every new update and every new app, it's artificial. You can just let it go. You can still do everything you need to do, connect with family, manage your life by focusing only on the specific tasks that truly matter to you. It's about choosing what's useful, not knowing everything. That really is the key. So, we've covered a lot of ground here, from confusing design all the way to a plan for taking back control. If we were to boil it all down, what's the one single lesson that matters most? It's that you have the power to reshape your relationship with technology. It doesn't control you. And so, I want to leave you with a gentle challenge, a way to put that power into practice, starting right now. Tonight, just pick one app on your phone that feels a little too busy. One that's always buzzing or sending you alerts you don't really need. Go into your settings, find that one app, and just turn its notifications off. Just one. It's a small, simple act, but it's a powerful first step towards silencing the noise and reclaiming your focus. And really, that's what this has all been about. Remember, your struggles with technology are not a personal failure. They're just a result of design choices that clash with our own human logic. But the most helpful thing to know is that you can respond. You can use the Mental Model Mapping Protocol to focus on your specific action paths and clear away all that clutter. And by reclaiming your digital tools, you turn them back into what they were always supposed to be: quiet, passive servants that just wait for your command. When you do that, you get all the independence and connection you need without any of the mental exhaustion you don't. You reclaim your tools, and in that quiet, confident act, you reclaim your focus.